Welcome to today's Pastor's Perspective. I'm Ken Gray and I serve here at Calvary Life Family Worship Center in Cheshire. And today we're going to take a little diversion from our typical Bible study and look at a passage that relates to a man named Nehemiah. I wanted to give some attention to the issue of manhood. It's important today that we look at this, especially as our culture has really pressed in and tried to redefine what a man is. So I want to talk about what real men are from the passage in Nehemiah chapter 1. Let me begin reading with verse 1. The words of Nehemiah the son of Hakaliah. Now it happened in the month of Chislev, in the 20th year, while I was in Susa the capital, that Hanani, one of my brothers, and some of the men from Judah came. And I asked them concerning the Jews who had escaped and survived the captivity and about Jerusalem. They said to me, the remnant there in the province who survived the captivity are in great distress and reproach, and the wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and its gates are burned with fire. Now this had to be a very disturbing message that Nehemiah received, but we must remember also that Nehemiah enjoyed a place of privilege. We learn at the end of this chapter that he was a cupbearer to the king. And he was in the palace. He was in a place of tremendous luxury, security, and privilege. So we would say he was in a good place. And it's interesting because many men who are in places of privilege really lose sight of or touch with the genuine needs of their people and their spiritual family in particular. But at this report, Nehemiah hears this report. Listen to how he responds. Verse 4. When I heard these words, I sat down and wept and mourned for days. And I was fasting and praying before the God of heaven. Nehemiah, as a real man, was moved with compassion for the concerns and the well-being of the people of God. Even though he was enjoying a place of privilege, he was not content there. He wanted to see something done about the condition of his people who were in distress, reproach, vulnerable to the enemy. And he was deeply concerned about that. So he, first of all, he mourned, he wept. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to be burdened by the condition of your family or the condition of those that are in your spiritual family. But it can't stop with mourning. It must continue. He says, I was fasting and praying before the God of heaven. You see, Nehemiah just didn't experience grief. He let his grief move him to a place of humble prayer and intercession for the people of God. In his praying and fasting, it mentions specifically that he prayed and fasted not before men, but before the God of heaven. He realized his own vulnerability, his own limitations, I should say. And these limitations brought him before the God who is unlimited, the God who cares, the God of heaven. And today it's important that we turn, as we look at our families, the deterioration of what's going on in our country and the culture that we're experiencing. We're seeing a decline of real men who care about community, care about their family, care about their church. This week, on Thursday at 6:30, it's very important that you would come, especially if you're part of this family, to hear what Pastor John has to say to us about men. God has given him a word, and he is really urgent. It's an urgent word that he wants to share with us about masculinity, about man and men in our world, and it's important that we not be carried away with the drift of this world. So I'm encouraging you to come and join us this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. at Calvary Life, and I encourage you to come to hear what God has to say. I'm introducing you to this subject, and I'll bring another word on Thursday as well, that you would also be stirred even more, and I pray that if you're a part of the Calvary Life family, you'll join us for this important message. God bless you. Thank you for listening to A Pastor's Perspective. Have a great day.